Guys, what is going on? IkeGuitar here. Hope you guys are doing well. Guys, it has been a busy couple of weeks for me. Things are picking up all around town here in Nashville, and I just bought a house. It's kind of crazy, so I appreciate you guys hanging with me. We're trying to put out videos, man, but it is getting busier as we speak. But today I want to talk about something that's really kind of near and dear to my heart. It's the whole idea of how are you standing out as a guitar player? And I think for a lot of us, when we go into an audition, or maybe we're comparing ourselves to others, we kind of ask ourselves, do we really have the stuff? Like, do we really kind of measure up? Or how am I going to be different in the situation than everyone else? What's going to land me the gig over someone else? And what are the skills I need to really be a guitar player that people call on to play? And we can talk about all kinds of things. We can talk about your stage presence. We can talk about, how well you actually play, but I want to kind of give you guys something that I think separates the okay guitarists from the truly amazing guitarists. And that really is, how well do you know this thing? Now, I know I've harped on about fretboard understanding as a whole in previous videos, but you guys would be surprised at how many guitarists do not know this fretboard backwards and forwards. And I think for most of us growing up playing guitar, we've really developed a way of learning through patterns. And patterns are totally a very applicable way to learn guitar and to practice, but to understand a guitar inside and out, you kind of need more than patterns. You kind of need to know how this fretboard works together, how this fretboard is shaped together, and to know every single note on every string across the fretboard. Now, during COVID, I really started to dive into some things I wanted to learn as a guitar player. I had plenty of downtime, and I think for most people, what you can get out of this really weird time is really important to how it shapes you in the future. And so I hope you're not wasting your time in this COVID season we're in, but I really just wanted to learn the guitar in a more just intimate way. It was very much a pattern style of guitar playing, very much I know where my positions are and where I want to play my tunes and my licks, and it was all kind of pretty standard for me, but I really wanted a deeper understanding, so I started getting guitar lessons. Now, I'm almost 30. I wouldn't say that I'm a master guitar player by any stretch, but I've really done my time in music lessons in my past. I grew up in high school playing music lessons. I even took a few classes in college. I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the guitar as a whole. But I decided that, I really wanted to test the boundaries of my skill, test the boundaries of my limits, and I really wanted to get lessons from a professional music teacher in the session world. And this guy, man, it's been kicking my butt. Now, I loop all this back in to say, learning the fretboard is really what I'm learning right now. And I could go through the fretboard and name off the notes for you, but it's not just one thing to look at a fret and say, that's the note I want to play. It's doing that in a musical way, doing that in the moment of a song. It's knowing how all these chords and notes and structures all kind of work together. And here's the thing. Music is only 12 notes, and it's the relationships of those 12 notes together in different combinations that really can decide how we see our music. And I think for a lot of us, we've really focused on, the key of C and the key of G and the pentatonics and the blues stuff and the things that are easy, that sound pretty decent, but I'm talking more advanced stuff. I'm talking jazz licks. I'm talking about polychords. I'm talking about tritone substitutions. I'm talking about really deep, in-the-weeds stuff that makes you a better guitar player. And it all requires you to learn this fretboard back and forth. Now, the reason why this makes you so different is that no one else thinks this way, okay? You guys probably grew up in patterns, like I said before, and nobody looks at the fretboard like a pianist looks at the keys of a piano. And you know what? I can contrast the piano and the guitar in totally two different ways, but the piano is phenomenally easier to know what notes you're playing, only because the keys have shapes, obviously. But the guitar, because it's fretted, it's a whole lot different. And you're not looking at, a keyboard laid out laterally in front of you. You're looking at strings top down. And it's a whole different mind game to get your mind wrapped around the idea of these frets and these strings and these notes working together in tandem. So with that, how do you get better at learning the fretboard? Well, I've got some exercises for you guys to try out. Now, learning the fretboard will take you a good amount of time. I think with a good amount of effort, 6 to 8 months is really what you need to really dive into how the fretboard works and to think about guitar like a piano player. Not to think about fret 4 or fret 5, but to think about F and the third and the minor third and where those are and learning all of your arpeggios and all that jazz. So I've actually got a cool thing that I want to show you guys. So one of the first exercises my instructor made me do was that he made me take all 12 keys in music and he made me go through all of the chords, all of the modes, and all of the triads. So it's kind of hard to see on my sheet, but I've got, for example, the F major scale. And as you can see, I've got the major 7, the major 9, I've got the minor 9, the minor flat 5, the 13, the whatever else. And I've got all these modes down here, and I've got a triad sheet down here. And so I did this with all 12 keys, and it really kind of helped my understanding of how all this music works together. And I think if you guys know, 1 through 12, or you guys know 1 through 7, as far as music is concerned, you can kind of understand numbers, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, but it's the adding of the flats. It's this translation of numbers to letters. It's a lot of confusing things to wrap your mind around, but once it becomes second nature, it really helps you in developing musical ideas and all that cool stuff. But it's not worth anything if you can't put it on the fretboard. Music is essentially about taking music that's in your heart, putting it in your mind, and putting it into your hands. And for me, the connection between the actual mind portion and the hand portion is so foreign. I can go through riffs that I've memorized all day, but to think about a song, think about a sound I want, think about a style I want to play, and to put that on the fretboard, it's a totally different world to me. And I'm sure you guys have done this with your singing. I'm sure you guys have been singing in the shower and you want to sing a certain way. Singing is a whole little bit different because your mind and your throat are like connected way more than this inanimate object called a guitar you have to play through. But it's the same idea. And it's a matter of developing those skills in order to take what's in your heart to your mind and onto the fretboard. So first off, I recommend just doing all those sheets. Do all 12 sheets for the 12 different keys in music, the flats, the sharps, all that jazz, to get all those things kind of like bubbling in your mind. And then take those things and apply them to music. One thing that I'm doing is I'm playing a lot more jazz music. I only say jazz because jazz has the changes required for someone like me who maybe knows his diatonic scales really, really well, to start developing into crossing keys and doing weird changes and developing these motifs and arpeggios of things that I've never tried before in my lifetime. And what playing jazz standards would do is that it would take the concepts you're learning and actually apply them in a musical way. You're not just playing exercises. You're using them in real life. You're using them in actual applications you'd use at a gig or a show. Not that you'd play jazz at your show, but using the fundamentals of how jazz is constructed and using those different tools you've learned, like those modes, those scales, those things you're memorizing on the fretboard, will help you develop that skill more quickly and more efficiently. And maybe some of the things I'm talking to you about is totally foreign. You're like, I haven't even gotten through the 4 or 5 major keys. So I would start off with memorizing your circle of fourths and fifths. Really important. Write out those pages and start developing your own ideas and learning arpeggios and improvising to songs you know and love. Really focusing not on how the patterns relate to each other, but you playing exact notes and learning what those notes are. So if I'm in the key of C major and I play that D, I know that I'm playing the 9 in that C scale, that 2 or that 9. Or if I'm playing a C, E flat, G, I know that I'm playing a C minor. Or if I'm playing a C, E flat, G, B flat, I know that I'm playing a C minor 7. Guys, I sincerely hope this helps you get an idea of some things to think of when you're trying to be the best guitarist you can be. Learning the fretboard is extremely important, and learning to play the guitar like a pianist and not a guitar player will help you immeasurably in how you craft music in the moment, and how you craft music at home, and how you relate to your instrument in a more intimate way. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. I make content all the time, not just guitar content. Guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. Guys, we are at 711 subscribers. Thanks for being a part of this channel, commenting. All of your communication with me has been really helpful. And if you have friends in the guitar world who would dig this channel, shoot them a link. Let them know I sent you. And totally enjoy your day, guys. Go learn your guitar and have a great day. We'll see you next time.